Hey, it's Clay at claytrader.com. This is my top 10 stocks as we head into Wednesday, January 3rd. This will be a technical analysis breakdown. So if you're someone that uses charts within your trading, or maybe you're just interested in learning more about charts and how they can be used as a tool to help make good decisions as a trader, this will be a video for you. First off, a couple quick clarifications. Number one, the candlestick that you see right there will still be moving around. That's because the market's open for a small amount of time. But I like to do these videos when the market is still open because sometimes we can capture some really interesting late day price movement. And then second, I'll be using the 30-minute time frame, meaning each one of these candlesticks here represents 30 minutes worth of time. So stock number one, ticker symbol LBPH, and very, very big move on this one today after the gap up, little consolidation, and then has, made a good solid move. So like I said, you had that little bit of a consolidation right there. And then late afternoon, price came to life again, got the breakout right there. And now a little bit of a case of deja vu because you had this nice move up. And now we once again have a little bit of consolidation right here. So in some sense, you could just call that a little miniature bull pennant, bull flag pattern, whatever you want to call it. But at the core, to try to simplify this, the level that you got to think a lot of people are watching for no fancy reasoning is this area right up here at 25.50. And again, no fancy reason other than the fact that just simply were the momentum and party finally stopped today. So from a breakout standpoint, and for those of you that like to play breakouts, then 25.50 is an interesting level from that dynamic of things. In terms of support, so if you like to play more so pullbacks, then in my opinion, a very interesting pullback area right here around $17.45. If you look closely, you can see right there the price bounce from it. Second time price bounce from it. Third time, generally speaking, price bounce from it. And again, generally speaking right there. So basically 4 periods in a row of each of those 30-minute candles, price bounce right off that area. Now, let me be very clear. If the price goes down there, it does not mean for sure guaranteed it'll bounce. But my point here is it's at least reasonable to think that it could bounce given the track record of it happening 4 times before. So overall, though, good movement. And now you have some well-defined areas. So it'll be interesting to see how this one continues to play out. Next one here, BETS, and overall, the chart is staying between this channel pattern, but we do have some other areas now that I want to focus on. So what I'm going to do is just drag this area down because this level here now has become very, very apparent right here at 0.0132. You can see a couple times now rejection, and then this morning rejection, and the price is still well within that area. So no guarantees, but is it valid that if the price can recover back up to that area and then get the break up through there, that this break in of itself of 0.0132 could create a good solid amount of momentum? In my mind, that seems like a very plausible situation. So definitely keep an eye on that. And in fact, if you wanted to, maybe some people were saying, you're going to talk about the pattern, the ascending triangle, and yeah, there's a nice little ascending triangle here too. So that is a bullish pattern, but just because there's bullish patterns does not mean the price is for sure to go upwards. If only it were that easy. But I can completely understand how people would be feeling a little bit more bullish here after today's movement and the formation here of this ascending triangle pattern. If there are any bigger pullbacks, nothing new here has changed. You have this bottom part of the channel down here at 0093, and you also have that pink line there, which has made its way down to that area. So kind of a double whammy of support down around that area, which creates an interesting situation if the price were to drop down to that location. Next one here, ticker symbol MARA. Pretty brutal move in the world of trading and investing. We would just call this a gap and trap. I mean, the price closed here. It gapped open right there, and then from there, just straight back down. So total gap and trap today on this one. Now, big picture-wise, overall chart is still perfectly fine. In fact, you can see here that the price still nicely above that pink line, which you know now is the 200 period moving average. But it's also interesting because the price is certainly within striking distance of that area. So not that far off. Doesn't mean the price is headed down there, but I don't think that's very crazy to suggest that the price could also make its way down to that area, which is going to be a very important area of support moving forward. So if this downwards movement continues, then that 200 period moving average going to be a very realistic spot where it could bounce. But this, and then also just from a general standpoint, an area that you want to see hold, because if the price starts to break below there and separate to the downside, at that point it becomes a very realistic situation that, okay, maybe the bulls are finally starting to lose some of their control. If the price does try to turn back upwards, nothing new here to report. Still have the 25-20 mark as that initial area of resistance, with also that 50 period moving average up there. But overall today, yeah, brutal gap and trap on the day. Next one here, NIO, and I'm going to be quick about this one because you've already heard me talk about this a couple times now, but we have, once again, 200 period moving average, and you can see as I speak, the price is working its way. In fact, I can zoom in here a little bit. Let me just get rid of these levels as they serve their purpose for now. But zooming in here, you can see that the price is potentially, that this candle is moving around, trying to work its way even down to that pink line there. Will it happen? Probably not. I mean, the market closes here in 12 minutes, but I suppose in the next 12 minutes, maybe it gets down to that area. If it does, that's going to be the big question mark moving forward. What happens if the price gets down to that level? Do you get a bounce? Is there a breakdown? If there is a breakdown, that does lead to the conclusion that the bears are picking up quite a bit of strength and momentum. But once again, had a very rough 30 minutes, or I should say opening 30 minutes with the gap down. Big old red candle, but things never really improved from there, because then there was this downwards channel right there that formed, which is, now not necessarily providing any sort of hope that there's some sort of bottoming to this momentum here. But the one bit of hope is at least that the price, has this potential bounce point at the 200 period moving average. Next one here, ticker symbol AMC. And overall, the channel here is becoming very, very annoying, because I know a lot of you are probably getting sick of me talking about this level here at 620. But it's proven to be the fact of the matter that it's not really a problem of breaking that level, because the top of this channel has been broken both there, both here, and then today, both here. The problem is maintaining. The price simply cannot maintain above $6.20. It's almost like 620 has a magnet, and in each of these situations where the price gets above it, the magnet just goes into effect and sucks the price right back down inside of that channel. So from that standpoint, nothing new to report. It's still inside the channel. 620, top of the channel, 595, the bottom of the channel. But 620 has really revealed itself to be a very tricky area, because just because the price gets above it, you got to be careful to just say, okay, finally a breakout has occurred, because now after today, that is the third breakout that has failed with the price going back inside of the channel after breaking out. So yeah, keep a close eye on that 620 mark. Real quick, want to quickly invite you to this. I said quickly 2 times very quickly. But anyways, want to take a break here and invite you to this free live online class that I'm offering here in the next couple of days. So if you've been enjoying what you've seen and you want to learn more about this tool, how it can and should be used to build consistency and manage risk, then certainly get signed up for the free live class. If you're watching on YouTube, there's a link down in the description box, or if you're watching at my site, there's an area right there on the webpage that you can click to get signed up. So like I said, if you've been enjoying, then definitely get signed up for the free live class. Next one here, AAPL, Apple. Brutal day on this one. Gap down, and then after the gap down, it just kept on dropping. So we'll get some newer levels here mapped out. So first key level moving forward that I think is going to have a pretty difficult time dealing with right here around the 187.25 mark. So yeah, right now as I speak, you can see nice final 30 minutes. Very nice green candle here. But that's within the context of a whole lot of downwards momentum. So this could very realistically just be a dead cat bounce where the price rolls back over. But if it is and it keeps on moving upwards, then yeah, 187.25 in my mind provides a big old question mark of, can the price actually get back above that area? So that remains to be seen. In terms of levels of support, nothing fancy here logic-wise. Just kind of the opposite question. The question being, where did the bleeding finally stop today? And that was right down there at 183.90. So 183.90 will be that key level of support moving forward for that simplistic reasoning. But no doubt about it, a lot of downwards momentum showed up today. Sure, there's a bounce right now, but is this a dead cat or not? Tomorrow is going to be very helpful in answering that question. Next one, TSLA Tesla, and overall, just a lot of choppiness back and forth in this one. And from a standpoint of what I talked about previously, didn't really do a whole lot. It just chopped around inside of this pattern. Top of the pattern 251.50, bottom of the pattern at 247. Now, to be fair, both there at one point the price dropped below the pattern, and then this afternoon the price dropped below the pattern. So kind of the opposite of AMC. AMC had the problem where the price would break up through a level and then fall back inside of it. And this is the opposite. The price is falling to the downside, but then the bulls are very strong to bring the price back inside of the sideways channel itself. So 247 seemingly has a lot of buyers hanging out around that area, and the chart as of right now does not like when the price gets down below 247, because in each of those instances, and you had a couple where the price essentially bounced right off that level, but the price seems to be wanting to stay above 247 for now. But 247 key area of support, 251.50 key area of resistance. Next one here, AMD. I'm going to go ahead and get rid of that level as it served its purpose for now. And yeah, rough day today, not necessarily because of the gap down, not necessarily because of that big old opening 30 minutes, but has more to do with that pink line, which you have heard me talk about several times now, that 200 period moving average. And the price is the price, and the fact that the price is now broken below it and separated. Now, to be fair, within the big picture of things, you can see that this is still, if anything, and I'm going to draw this very crudely, you could still just call this a big old bull flag pattern. Maybe you disagree with that, but my point here is that within the big, scale of things, the price is still got plenty of opportunity to build a higher base. It could still drop down to that 135 mark, which I talked about previously. and then turn itself around. And what would you have from the big picture? Well, you'd still had a set of lows there. You'd have lows there, lows down here. And if you envision each of those as stair steps, you'd still have stair steps progressing in the upwards direction. So I'm not saying that today has ruined the entire chart. That's not true. What I am saying is that today was a big step in the bearish direction of potentially the bears trying to regain control of this chart. So we'll see how that continues to play out moving forward. Any sort of bounces back upward, just basic technical analysis rule here, which states when levels of support are broken and closed below, they tend to act as resistance. And with the price now below that pink line there, that'll be the first initial area of resistance if this thing can get some sort of bounce. Next one here, ticker symbol ROI, and you're going to have everybody and their brother's uncle watching this area right here at the 53-cent mark. So this is not a great discovery. This is not some sort of special skill. This is just the level that you got to think all sorts of people are watching. It's very apparent. You have that high there. You have this high here. And I say all that because when a lot of people are watching the same level and wondering the same things, call it a self-fulfilling prophecy, call it whatever you want, it can produce some very dynamic movement. So no guarantees, but is it plausible that if the price comes up here to that area, breaks up through it, that break in of itself could create good solid buying pressure? That is a more than reasonable conclusion to reach. So if you like penny stocks, if you like to play potential breakouts, I definitely keep an eye on this one and specifically right up around that 53-cent mark. Next one here, TQQQ, which is an ETF that measures the NASDAQ market. So if you believe the NASDAQ market is going to go up, this one will also go up, and it just allows you access at a much lower price point. So yes, NASDAQ had a very rough day today. Therefore, this one had a very, very rough day today. I'm going to go ahead and get rid of these levels as they've all served their purpose for now. But yes, right now, like Apple, very, very nice last 30 minutes. Give credit where credit's due. Good, solid final 30 minutes of the day. But this is all occurring within the context of a pretty nasty downwards movement. So same question as Tesla, is this some sort of dead cat bounce, or is there any sort of genuine strength behind it? That remains to be seen. But the last 30 minutes here on the strength does create more of an interesting dynamic here headed into Wednesday. If this thing does carry upwards, then the first key level of resistance in my mind that stands out right here at that level of 48.75. And if the price can push up through there, next key level after that would then be right around that pink line there, the 200 period moving average. So I'd keep an eye on those couple of areas from a resistance standpoint. In terms of supports, yeah, you guessed it. We're going to ask that question. Where did the bleeding finally stop today? And that was right down there at, let's call it 47.25. And that'll be the main area of support for that reason and that reason alone. That's just finally where not only the bleeding stopped, but actually produced a very, very impressive bounce. So does this bounce continue into tomorrow? Can the NASDAQ build some momentum upon it? I'd say tomorrow morning going to be very, very interesting. So that wraps up the top 10 list. Again, if you like what you saw here and you want to learn more about the tool, then definitely get signed up for the free class. It'll be Thursday, a couple of days from now, January 4th at 7 p.m. Eastern Time. So I hope to see you there. As far as these top 10 videos are concerned, if you enjoy these, please do a couple of things for me. Hit that like button, leave a comment below, tell me what you traded today, give me your watch list for tomorrow. Those couple things really help out the channel, and I thank you in advance. So get signed up for that free class. Thanks for watching. Take care. Have a good one.